going to learn the verb être again, as we have discussed earlier, être verb, and one more important verb, that is avoir, to have, and être is to be. Well, we have already talked about this verb être. I'll be going to write it again just to make you remember. Je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. Well, all of you know the meanings very well. Je suis, I am, tu es, you are, il est, he is, elle est, she is, nous sommes, we are, vous êtes, you are, ils sont, they are, elles sont, they are. The same way, I'll be going to conjugate the verb avoir with the same subject pronouns like j'ai. Here, in this case, I'll drop e because my verb begins with a vowel. Whenever you will see the verb begins with a vowel or h, we drop e in case of je, and I'll be going to put here because there are two vowels you can see. So I'll drop this and I'll be going to use j'ai. Tu as. Here I'll not drop you. This will apply in case of the conjugation of je only. So here it is j'ai, I have, tu as, you have, il a, he has, elle a, she has, nous avons, we have, vous avez, you have, ils sont, they have, elles ont, they have. So here this can be I have as well as I am having, because in French language simple present and present continuous are same. So this will be j'ai, I have, I am having, tu as, you have, you are having. It is like that. Well, these two verbs are very important. And one more thing for avoir verb you have to remember is, whenever we are asking the age and we are telling the age, we make use of avoir, not être. Because according to English, you will say je suis and tell your age, I am. For example, I am 16 years old, I am 20 years old. So you will say je suis, no. Here, you have to say in French j'ai, then the number, then en. I'll just explain you here. For example, I want to ask somebody's age. I'll ask the question, quel âge avez-vous? Quel âge avez-vous? So the person will not say je suis. The person will say j'ai, for example, 22 ans. Just an example, j'ai 22 ans, I am 22 years old. So, quel âge avez-vous? J'ai 22 ans. So that is to tell the age, we are using the verb avoir, not être. This you have to remember. That is to tell the age, we have to use avoir. Well, we'll proceed to the next verb. That is the er ending verb. The first group verb. When we talk about the first group verb, for example, we are going to work on the verb parler. You can see parler, it is ending with er, means it is a first group verb. So there we have the set conjugation for the first group er ending verbs. First of all, this parler, I'll just tell you the meaning of this. It is to speak. Now, you can see this ends with er. What will I do is, I'll have to remove from er ending verbs. First is er. You can see the radical, I'll have PARL. With this radical, PARL, I have to remember the endings. I'll just tell you how it works. You can see here in all the cases it is PARL. I've simply removed ER and I've got the radical for all. But for je, I'll have to add E. For tu, I have to add ES. For illal, I have to add E. With nu, I have to add ONS. For vu, I have to add EZ. And for ill and al plural, I have to add ENT. So finally, I have got my conjugation of the verb parler in present tense. So I can say je parle, tu parles, il parle, elle parle, nous parlons, vous parlez, il parle, elle parle. So you can see here, it's very simple that if you talk about the pronunciation as well, parle, 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 and the last pronunciation is also parle. The only difference is here parlons, parler. I repeat, je parle, tu parles, il parle, elle parle, nous parlons, vous parlez, il parle, elle parle. Now if you'll see the meaning, je parle is what? I speak as well as I'm speaking. Tu parles, you speak, you are speaking. Il parle, he speaks, he is speaking. Elle parle, she speaks, she is speaking. Nous parlons, we parle, we are speaking. That is, vous parlez, you speak, you are speaking. Il parle, they speak, they are speaking. So, because simple present, present continuous, I told you it's the same. So, this is how we are going to conjugate ER ending verbs. Now, I'll take another verb. Let us take the verb habiter. Habiter, it means to live. That is the verb habiter. If I conjugate this verb, I have to remove ER. It is the first group verb. So I'll conjugate it as j'habite, I'll add E. Tu habites. You can see in the first case I have removed E because my verb begins with H. So whether the verb begins with H or a vowel, we have to drop E. So it will be j'habite. H is always mute in French. We will not be going to speak it. We will be going to speak from A. So A is A. That's why j'habite. Tu habites. Il habite. Elle habite. Nous habitons. Vous habitez. Ils habitent. Elles habitent. For example, you want to say I live in Jaipur, you can simply say j'habite. There is a preposition a in Jaipur. J'habite à Jaipur. For example, you want to say I speak French. Je parle français. For example, here we have je parle français, means I speak French. For example, we want to say for someone else, then we can say il parle français, he speaks French. You want to say for example, I speak French, je parle français, you speak English at the same time, you can say anglais. You speak Hindi, then you can add a Hindi. You can simply talk about the languages you speak using this verb parler, and habiter, of course, to live. Where do you live? For example, j'habite à Jaipur, you want to say I live in India. Then in that case, you have to say j'habite on and, because preposition for the countries will change. We'll be going to discuss it in future lectures. So you can see here, j'habite on and, I live in India. That is how we are going to use ER ending verbs and the irregular verbs like we have done être and avoir. Thank you so much.
at St. Wilfrid College of Law, Sector 10, Meera Marg, Madhyam Marg, Jaipur, Rajasthan.